Good evening, everyone. I once again welcome you all on the third day of this 1 week virtual faculty development program cum workshop on advanced research methodology and data analysis. Today, we are very fortunate to have a great academician, a great researcher, Professor Ajay Kumar Chauhan, from founder and chief consultant, Research Shiksha. So, on behalf of Inspira Research Association, Mehta College and Institute of Technology, and Swami Sahajanand College of Commerce and Management Autonomous, Bhavnagar, Gujarat, I welcome Dr. Ajay Kumar Chauhan. Before I invite Dr. Ajay Kumar Chauhan to start the session, I would like to invite Dr. Aarti Chopra, Joint Secretary, Inspira Research Association, for the formal welcome to Dr. Ajay Kumar Chauhan. Dr. Aarti.
A very good evening to all of you, and welcome in the third day of this 1 week virtual faculty development program cum workshop on advanced research methodology and data analysis being organized by Inspira Research Association, Mehta College of Institute and of Technology, Jaipur, and Swami Sahajanand College of Commerce and Management Autonomous, Bhavnagar, Gujarat. So this is the third day. 2 days already you have learned a lot of things from our renowned speakers, and today, as Professor Modi said, we are fortunate enough to have Dr. Ajay Kumar Chauhan sir with us, who is the founder and chief consultant at Research Shiksha. Before inviting sir, I would like to throw a light on his research journey. Although the sir's research journey is so long, so extensive, and so comprehensive that it is very difficult to compile it within few minutes, but still I will try. Dr. Ajay Kumar Chauhan stands as a visionary behind the pioneering concept of offering comprehensive research and data science consultancy through Research Shiksha. His illustrious journey includes the role of Director FPM at UBS Mumbai, where he garnered invaluable experience. Widely regarded as the international consultant in qualitative methods, his expertise is sought after by prestigious institutions not only in India but also globally. He is a distinguished visiting faculty member at esteemed institutions like MDI, IMT, NMNIS, IAFT, and NITs. Dr. Chauhan's impact on the academic realm is really profound. His earlier association with IMT Ghaziabad as a full-time faculty for an impressive 8 years further attests to the commitment towards education. Holding a spectrum of qualifications, Dr. Chauhan holds an MSc in Mathematics, MBA in Finance, and UGC NET. His academic journey culminated in a remarkable achievement, a PhD in Finance. His scholarly pursuits have resulted in publication of 28 international research papers. I have an old data and I'm sure that Dr. Chauhan will correct it because the number must have increased till now, and including those in EBDC's A and B categories. Additionally, Sir has authored 3 esteemed books, further enhancing his stature in academic community. A notable facet of Dr. Chauhan's career lies in the prowess as a revered data science and analytical trainer. With an extensive portfolio of over 1,000 national and international training workshops, Sir has adeptly covered topics like financial econometrics, time series analysis, machine learning using R and Orange, structural equation modeling, panel data analysis, and many more. His workshops have left an indelible mark in the institutions, renowned institutions of country like NHPC, NTPC, Coca-Cola, IMT Ghaziabad, UGC staff colleges, and IIFT, Delhi University, IIIT, Ministry of Communications, and many more. Broadening his horizons, Dr. Chauhan's international engagements include teaching assignments in Bulgaria and advanced ecometric course from Switzerland, connecting his reputation as a global academic luminary. Sir, we are so fortunate to have you here. You are actually the god of research, and our participants today are so fortunate to have you. And sir will be talking about hypothesis testing in research today, and I'm sure there are many more areas on which sir can definitely benefit our participants. So, sir, with folded hands, we welcome you on behalf of all the three organizers to enlighten our participants. Dr. Ajay Kumar Chauhan.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, so good evening to all of you. The topic which is given to me for today is hypothesis testing. So I'm going to discuss few issues from basic to advanced which are related to hypothesis testing. So sharing my screen, and I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Good. So I want to start with few questions because in my daily routine, so these questions are the questions which normally scholars ask me. Like first is the which hypothesis, null hypothesis or alternate hypothesis should be included in thesis and research paper. So because not even this year, past year, I had a discussion with many professors, scholars, that so which hypothesis should be mentioned in the thesis and the research paper. The second is the which keywords, what keywords we should include in the hypothesis statement. So this is also a very important part because if you are using wrong statements, wrong keywords in the hypothesis statement, then it will be wrong. And second, the another question is that so normally in PhD we have 5 or 4 objectives. So it is compulsory that every objective must have the hypothesis. This is also question comes. Then another issue is that what is the process of developing the hypothesis? Do we have any standard process or we just write the statement? So what is the exact process of developing the hypothesis? Another question is that what is the difference between hypothesis and theory? And how we connect the hypothesis testing with the statistical process. There are so many statistical techniques, we know that. So how to decide which statistical test should be applied for the designed hypothesis. And what is this concept of the level of significance, confidence level, the chances of error, standard error? So there are many concepts, basic concepts, which are related to the hypothesis testing. So we will discuss each and everything. And one thing I can guarantee you, at the end of my session, everybody who is listening my session carefully can answer each of these questions. So with this promise, so I start one by one. Now, I'm mentioning here, there are few important keywords which we use in hypothesis testing. The first keyword which you can see here is the difference. So difference means when you are comparing the groups. So in sometimes we say that there is there is no significant difference in the consumer satisfaction between public sector and private sector. So basically what we are doing, we are comparing the public sector and private sector. Sometimes we are comparing the demographics, like the average income of the employees with different education background is same. So difference. So the first keyword is the difference. And in difference, whenever you frame the hypothesis based on difference, in layman terms, it is comparison. Comparison between two groups, comparison between three groups. In experiments, we compare control group versus experiment group. So comparison is very common. In medical science, we provide medicine to one group, placebo to another group, and compare the results. So comparison is which is expressed in terms of difference. So this is the first type of hypothesis we can check. And the test we are applying is a t-test and one-way ANOVA test. So t-test and one-way ANOVA test are linked with difference. So whenever you are talking about the comparison or difference, the test which you can apply is t-test and the ANOVA test. So we are basically discussing the parametric test, not we are not considering the non-parametric test in this lecture. Then there is a word, after that there is a word called association, which is the most misunderstood state keyword. So what is association? Association means if I ask you to give synonym of association, so how which word or which word comes in your mind as a substitute or as a synonym of association?
We can say connection.
Yeah. So you are saying connection, right? So connection is a word. But the problem is that the word association is used in many sense. But statistically, according to the statistics, the association is used to check the relationship between two categories. Like, for example, do you think the people who are having iPhone are rich? Right. So it may be possible that the people who are using iPhone and the latest version of the iPhone, so we associate them to be rich persons. So it means the phone is a category, budget phone, iPhone. So these are the categories. Similarly, rich, poor, middle class, rich class. So they are the categories. So when we connect the categories, then we use the word association. So I'm giving you different examples of association. First of all, okay, nowadays you know that there's so many cases going on. Then wives kill husband and all. So the one people ask me, sir, do you think there's a connection, there's an association between education of the people and the crime in the home? So is there any association? The word is association between which? Between the education background and the domestic violence, let's say. So I'm telling you, the police department is conducting a study on this. Is there any association between the education background and the domestic violence? Now, education level is the category, and the level of domestic violence is also a category, that minor, major domestic violence, like that. So association word is used when you want to check. And I'm telling you one thing, in entire healthcare and medical science, the word association is very useful because they are doing simple thing, that is there any association between the type of medicine and the type of improvement, or is there any association between the type of treatment and the level of improvement? Because the type of treatment is category, level of improvement is category. So whenever you want to see the association between two categories, then we use the word association. And which test we should apply? Chi-square test. So chi-square test is linked with association. And I'm telling you, the chi-square test, which is known as king of medical science, the chi-square test is known as the king of medical science. Why? Because every doctor, if anybody of you is a doctor, they know that the most compulsory test to learn in medical science is the chi-square. Why? Because they want to apply to check is there any relationship between the type of medicine, and type of medicine means medicine, placebo, glucose, and the level of improvement. So this association word is very popular in medical science and healthcare science or pharmaceutical science, because they are trying to see the effect of different medicines on the improvement. So the word association is linked with the relationship between two categories. Okay. Now, in one of the study, the research question was, the PhD scholars have two type of guides, male guide and the female guide. And there are four type of categories. Then male guide, female student, male guide, male student, female guide, male student, female guide, female student. So is there any relationship between the type of dyad? Dyad means DIAD. That is a basically group. Is there any relationship between the group and the research progress? Right? क्या कोई संबंध है? Is there any relationship between the type of group, male guide, female student, male guide, male student, or like there are four type of groups, and the research progress? So you may be surprised that significant association was found. Okay, so association word is used. I hope you are clear. But the misinterpretation is that people use association in place of relation, which is my second keyword. The relationship is the relationship between two scale variables. Like what is the relationship between your BMI and the blood pressure? What is the relationship between advertisement and sales? What is the relationship between the income and consumption? Like, so a relationship is between two scale variables. And we apply relationship with correlation test. So you know that how statistic is clear, that where to use association, in which hypothesis which you should use relationship. Now there's another word called impact. And the another word which is highly replacing this word is influence. Influence. So there are two words which are very common words in the hypothesis statements: impact or influence. Let's say there is a significant impact of FDI on GDP. There is a significant effect on interest rate, on money supply. There is a significant effect of increase in income on increase in consumption. Right. So there is a significant effect on government policy on the public opinion. So impact. This word is very common, impact. But recently I found many scholars are using word influence, and many scholars, so whatever they come, उनको जो मर्जी वो लगा देते हैं. So they use impact, they use influence. But one scholar asked me, can we use influence word in place of impact? Answer is no. Because influence is another category, impact is another category. I'm explaining you. Like for example, if I increases your income, if your boss increases your income, will it impact the consumption? Can I use the word increase in income can influence your consumption? No, influence is not suitable word here, right? So impact means when you want to see the impact of an event on another variable, then the word impact will be useful. But in another case, like for example, I want to see the effect of social influence on purchase intention. So can I use the word social influence have a significant impact on the purchase intention? Answer is no. We should use the word influence. The social norms have a significant influence on the purchase intention. So the hypothesis testing is a very scientific to frame the sentence. And I can tell you 90% of the hypothesis, you can check. 90% of the hypotheses have 5 keywords: difference, association, relation, impact, and influence. And I can tell you, you cannot frame any hypothesis without these words. And these words, these keywords give you 100% clarity that which test we are going to play. So whenever somebody say difference means t-test or ANOVA test, association means chi-square, relationship means correlation, impact, regression, influence, structural equation modeling. So the statistics is very easy, right? So it is purely scientific that which keyword you are used. So I hope now you can answer this question that which keyword must be used in hypothesis statement. So I can challenge you that 90% of the hypotheses in top rated journals use these words. Now my another question is, what is the difference between hypothesis and theory? So what is the difference between hypothesis and theory? I'm giving you one example. In the stock market, so there are many school of thoughts. So there is one school of thoughts that is traditional finance. We call it traditional finance. So traditional finance say that the investors are rational. The investors are rational. And investors are rational, then market is a perfect market. But another school of thought challenges them that if investors are rational, then why they smoke, why they drink, why they eat too much, right? So if people are rational, so why do they are doing all these stupid things? So it means they are not rational. They are emotional. So there is another school of thought. They say that the investors are not rational. They are emotional. They are behavioral. So they may be rational according to their knowledge, but the knowledge is limited. Problem is that the knowledge is limited. So basically, there is a theory. That theory is known as efficient market. But that is not a theory. In all the books, it is mentioned that there is a efficient market hypothesis because it is not proved by the researcher that market is efficient. So any hypothesis which is not proved remain the hypothesis. And if any hypothesis is proved, accepted by many people, many researchers, So after some time, we can say this hypothesis is a mature hypothesis. It is proved by most of the people, and slowly it becomes a theory, right? So it becomes a theory. So what is theory? Theory is a proved mature hypothesis. If if the hypothesis is matured means many tested by many people and accepted, and then it becomes a theory. So I hope now you understand. Now you have clarity that what is the difference between the hypothesis and the theory. So there are many hypotheses which still remain hypothesis. It is not becomes theory. So I hope you have the clarity on this aspect. Now the another thing that we are talking about the hypothesis, होती क्या है? So what is the hypothesis? So how can we say that it is a hypothesis? Right. Okay. Like for example, if I say the moon is very beautiful, चांद बड़ा सुंदर है, तो can we assume that it is a hypothesis? Right. So the problem is that it is not a hypothesis. Why? Because it cannot be proved by the data. The problem is that there is no measurement of the beautiful, right? Because it is entirely perception based. So any assumption which cannot be proved by the data cannot be hypothesis. So hypothesis need data and the statistical test to prove it. Like for example, I'm giving you one example. In a court, there are three people. One is judge, one is the victim, and third is the lawyer. Now, the lawyer claim or lawyer speaks that this person made a crime. This person committed a crime. Now the question is that whether it is a hypothesis or not. It is a hypothesis. Why? Because why it is a hypothesis? Because the lawyer must have some data to prove that the person committed crime. Because if data is not there, right? If evidences are not there in the court, they just say you don't have any data, you don't have any test, you don't have any proof, you don't have any evidence, I am leaving this person. So similarly, in a statistical test, in research, if you don't have the data, if you don't have the proof, evidence, the evidence is basically statistical test. A statistical test is the evidence. If these two are missing, you cannot test any statement. So hypothesis is a assumption to be tested using the data by applying some statistical test. So this is the definition of hypothesis. So I hope up to this you are clear. And now the hypothesis, a hypothesis should have explain what you expect to happen, be clear and understandable, be testable, be measurable. Measurable means data. Testable means statistical test, and with have some independent and dependent variable. Okay, so hypothesis will have all these things. Now, nowadays, there are many research going on without hypothesis. So I face this question many times. Sir, is it compulsory to have hypothesis in a research? I said no. The hypothesis is not a compulsory. Because if you are solving a problem with the help of research, then hypothesis may not be compulsory. Like I am giving you one example. recently I asked one HR manager of a company that, sir, what problem you are facing nowadays in the firms? So he told me the biggest problem nowadays is the implementation of AI. And now, why all the companies are very dynamic, aggressive in implementation of AI? Because it is reducing their cost. So 10 people who are working for you can be replaced by 3 AI experts. If they know AI, they can remove 10 people. So your cost cut down by 70%. So that's why the HR people have a problem. So whenever they go to any campus for placement, the first question they ask to the candidate, do you know how to do all these activities using AI? You may not believe it, but I can show you one of the reel I saved for this lecture. I will show you in the last that the biggest problem, you may not feel it, but biggest problem is the implementation of AI in the industry. So this problem, if anybody want to do a research, hypothesis not required because you don't know what is the possible outcome. So this is called need driven work. Need driven work. So many researchers are doing the research. They're not testing the existing theory. They are finding out the problem, solution of the problem. So this is a new kind of research based on grounded theory approach, which don't need hypothesis. And I'm telling you, the demand for these type of research will increase in future because the things are changing very fast. So I hope you understand that hypothesis means you already, like I'm giving you one example. Another example I'm giving you. So many years back, there was a crime in Delhi. So there are 5 members in the family and all were killed in during the night. And not only the family members, but the guard, one guard was there outside the house. He was also killed. So then the DCP who take the responsibility to solve this crime. So normally they have 3 hypotheses. The 3 hypotheses are very common that the murder is because of some enemy, the murder is done because of some love affair, and the murder is done because of some property issue. Right? हुआ ना? So there is a famous. So they decided to go with the enemy part. So let's focus on the hypothesis that the murder is done by some enemy. So this is the hypothesis number one. And after finding out all enemies and finding out, taking interviews and so many activities, they conclude that this hypothesis we are not accepting because of we are not having any evidence. Then they shift to another hypothesis, love affair. There may be problems of affair. Then they spend whole time in finding out the background of the people. And after some time, they again reject this hypothesis. Then they move to the third hypothesis. So the point is, hypothesis you can make only if some theory is there. Right, because in police there are 3 theories. Murders are happening because of love, affair, enemy, and all. Right. So hypotheses are only possible when some existing literature is there, when some existing problem or theories are there. In case of new problems, hypothesis cannot be tested. So I hope you got the answer. Basically, I am answering 2 things. Number one, is it necessary to have hypothesis in every research? Answer is no. Second question is that do we have hypothesis for every objective in the research? Answer is no. because one or two objectives may be exploratory. Three objective may be descriptive or causal research. So it is not compulsory that you must have the hypothesis in all the objective or all the research. So another thing, there are two type of hypothesis, category of hypothesis. One is the alternate hypothesis and one is the null hypothesis. The null hypothesis means basically null is a negative word. So I better say it is a neutral hypothesis. So the if I have a power, so I change this word null. I will replace the word null with the neutral hypothesis. Because I found neutral hypothesis is a better word for null hypothesis. Why? Because I'm asking very simple question. Do you think male and female are different? Do you think Indians and Europeans are different? So the point is, God made everybody equal. So everybody is equal. This is neutral. But how we write? When we write the hypothesis, the language is there is no difference. There is no effect. There is no impact. There is no association. So word no make it negative. Otherwise, this no means everybody is independent, everything is equal. So neutral hypothesis, null hypothesis assume that there is everybody is equal, everybody is independent. One variable don't affect other, like that. So this is called null hypothesis. And I'm also telling you, your duty, researcher duty, is not to prove the null. Like another, you can relate with the court. In the court, the mujrim, the victim, the question is that I'm asking, the question is that what is the responsibility of the lawyer? To prove them innocent or to prove him guilty? What is the objective of the lawyer? Can anybody answer the what is the objective of the lawyer? To prove that this person is guilty or to prove that this person is innocent? I'm telling you, if the lawyer is not able to provide evidence that this person did the crime, judge by default leave him. Right? So all the judge by default leave the person if evidence is not there. And there are many cases in India that the judges declare the victim innocent because of the lack of evidence of in the court. So the main duty of the lawyer is to prove that he committed a mistake or crime. So it means the researcher duty is not to prove the null hypothesis, rather to challenge the null hypothesis. रिसर्चर का जो काम है वो नल को प्रूफ करना नहीं होता, उनको नल को चैलेंज करना होता है. लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आई एम गिविंग यू अनदर एग्जाम्पल. Everybody say male and female are different. But doctors say, no, I can challenge that male and female are not same. Because if you check the hemoglobin in female is entirely different from the male. Right? So the doctor is challenging the null. Right? Similarly, the psychologist challenges that female are more emotional and males are more logical. So this is a claim by the different people. And there's a theory, you know, that there's a theory, split half theory. A split half theory say that the human mind has two sections, right section, left section, and female are very, very good in right section and men are very good in left section. So the researcher are challenging the null. So I hope you understand what is null hypothesis and what is alternative hypothesis. Now I am also answering you the answer of one question, that which hypothesis we should have in the research paper. I had a discussion argument with many people in one of the uh, interview, one of the viva, you can say PhD viva or PhD presentation. So there was a discussion going on. The panel members say that why you put alternate hypothesis in the thesis, why not you put null, right? So because according to the professor, only null hypothesis should be there in the thesis. So I say that, sir, null hypotheses are not allowed in the thesis. Then he asked me, how can you prove it? So do you have any support for this? And my answer is very simple. I just challenge the professor, sir, can you show me even a single paper, research paper? Can you show me a single research paper with the null hypothesis? I can show you 1,000 papers with alternate hypothesis, and I am asking for only a single research paper with null hypothesis. कि आप मुझे ना सिर्फ एक पेपर दिखा दो जिसमें नल लिखा हो, नल हाइपोथेसिस लिखी हो, मैं आपको 1,000 पेपर दिखा सकता हूं जिसमें अल्टरनेट लिखी हो. This is, I am also challenging you, all of you. So this confidence gave me to drive a conclusion that the researcher should write only alternate hypothesis in the thesis and the research papers, because in my life I have not seen even a single paper. I'm talking about the high quality, good SCI journals, not paid journals where you can write anything. I am talking about the high quality paid journals. Oh, sorry, not paid. High quality Scopus and SCI journals. So null hypotheses are totally banned. So now tell me, the answer is clear or not? So which hypothesis, null or alternate, should be included in thesis and research paper? The answer is the alternate. And the reason I already explained you. Basically, a researcher is not doing the research to prove the null. The researcher is doing research to challenge the null, to prove the alternate hypothesis. Okay. So null alternate ho gaya. So these are the different examples of null. So there is no difference, not affected, no preference. So what is the definition of null hypothesis? So so you just take this definition, what is the default? The status quo, I am already accepted, can only be rejected. The burden of proof is on alternate. I am the null hypothesis, right? So in court, there is a sentence that innocent until proven guilty. Person is innocent until proven guilty. This is very famous sentence in law. कि जब तक आप किसी को गिल्टी प्रूफ नहीं करते, वो इनोसेंट बाय डिफॉल्ट है. So it means you are not able to, you're not there to prove a person innocent. वो तो by default innocent ही है, right? So consider the way we are writing the hypothesis. So the person is by default innocent if you don't have proof. If you have proof, then you can prove it is guilty. So basically, with the notion of innocent until proven guilty, we define our hypothesis. So hypothesis may be rejected, may not be rejected. We never write also, I'm telling you, because I did this mistake many times, that we write in the research paper that this null hypothesis can be accepted. Then one professor told me, you cannot write this statement that null hypothesis can be accepted. Now, वो तो by default accepted है. How can you accept that, right? So you are not having the power of accepting the null hypothesis because that is already accepted. So in research papers, therefore, now we write two type of word that null hypothesis can be rejected or there is enough support or evidence in favor of alternative hypothesis. So you write the word support or rejected. In the context of null hypothesis, accepted word cannot come, right? So these are the very minute things which you should know that we should not write that null hypothesis can be accepted. You have to write that null hypothesis can be rejected or cannot be rejected. So this is the way we have to explain the result in hypothesis. Similarly, alternative hypothesis, I hope you have now clarity. So this is just opposite of null hypothesis. The challenge is the status quo. We challenge the natural, may or may not be proven. In generally, the hypothesis that the researcher is trying to prove is alternate. So evidence is always collected to reject the null or to support the alternate. So this is the way we frame the hypothesis in the research. So like in this case, in one of the research, so I'm giving you one example and it is a real example. One of the professor was working on parapsychology, was doing research on parapsychology, which is one of the interesting topic. So the professor have two type of pots, gamle, right? So two classes, two section. So to one class, one group, he provide normal water, and to second category of pot, he bring water from a temple and give that water to the plants. Now, what is the logic? So the professor want to prove that because of the environment, because of the sound of bell, because of the feelings of the people who are in the temple, the level of energy is different in the water. So he want to prove that each and everything carries energy. Everything is energy, right? So he want to prove that this energy, which is there in the water, in the temple, must have a large impact on the growth of the plant, right? So this is a real research and also published. And even this research was also covered by the geography channel. So some channel I heard about that geography बहुत पहले आता था अभी भी आता होगा. So they covered this research and the professor proved that the water with the energy from the temple have significantly better impact on the plant growth. Now tell me, what the professor want to prove? The null or the alternate? So he want to prove that there is no effect on the energy water, or he want to prove that the energy water will lead to more growth. So think on it. So what we want to prove? So basically, alternate hypothesis. So alternate hypothesis is the most important part of the research. Now another question, that how to frame the hypothesis. How to frame the hypothesis. Like for example, the movement in moon cause waves in the sea, right? This is a very popular saying that the other moon, right? So any change in moon, because sometimes it is full moon, sometimes it is half moon, sometimes there is no moon, right? Amavasya, full and full moon. So the people understand the astrology, Indian astrology believes it, that the phases of the moon changes the psychology of the people and changes the sea waves, right? Now, this hypothesis, how to frame this hypothesis? So, the first thing is that you have to find out the support of the previous literature. So, somebody must have conducted research on this and found some result. So, like in this paragraph, I want to prove this is not my paper. Environmental consciousness and consumption of green product. So, I want to say the researcher want to say that anybody who is environmental consciousness have significantly effect on consumption. So he consume more green products. So like the author put many sentences. The whole paragraph is giving you the logic by different people that how the environmental consciousness has have impact on green products. As nation has developed, the emphasis on economic development has triggered environmental degradation and affect the quality of life. So this is said by this person. So I collected the statements from literature, and on the basis of that, those aspects supported the formulation of the hypothesis. So the hypotheses are formed on the basis of these arguments. So hypothesis always based on the arguments, right? On which argument you are framing the hypothesis. Like I'm another concept I'm telling you, the sun, you know that the father of the earth, the astronaut, the researcher in that area, they found that there was an explosion in sun in every 11th years. So in 11 years, there is one explosion, and that explosion repeat after every 11 years. And whenever the explosion happens in on the sun, the effect you can observe in the earth in the form of earthquakes or some other problems. And they collected the data from last 500 years. So they have a correlation between that in 2011 there was a problem 2008 or 9. So 2008 they say that because of that some problem comes in the economy of many countries go down. After 2009 it comes in 2020 corona. So I don't know, but they are giving the logic like that with the help of data. So if you have argument, then you can form the hypothesis. If you don't have any argument, you cannot form the hypothesis. So argument is very, very compulsory to form a hypothesis. So I hope this part is clear. And now key point to be noted for on the basis of my discussion. In the process of hypothesis testing, the researcher proposed alternative hypothesis to prove with the help of evidence. So these are my conclusive statement that what is going on the research. In the process of hypothesis testing, the researcher proposed alternate hypothesis to prove with the help of evidence. The evidence is very important because without evidence, you cannot prove anything, right? And there are different type of evidence, data, statistical test. So these are the major event evidence in the research. Data is gathered and examined to determine whether the evidence is strong enough to support the alternative hypothesis. So we have to prove the evidence. The burden is placed on the researcher to support the alternative hypothesis. If the sample information is insufficient enough in favor of the alternate hypothesis, then by default null hypothesis is rejected. मतलब अगर आप मुजरिम नहीं पर्सन को मुजरिम साबित नहीं कर पाए तो बाय डिफॉल्ट वो इनोसेंट ही है. So if the sample information is insufficient, enough in favor of the alternative hypothesis, then by default, null is rejected. This is the same as saying if the prosecutor has enough evidence of guilt, the innocent is rejected. If you have enough evidence, it means innocence is rejected. Now, in hypothesis testing, there is one problem: the problem of the error. So let's discuss on these errors. Okay, now there are two type of errors in the decision making. There are two type of errors. One error, like I'm giving you one example. Suppose you want to hire employee for your organization. You want to hire employees for your organization, and you are taking the interview of a candidate. There are two possibilities, or actually there are four possibilities. The candidate was excellent, but you reject him. The candidate was very poor, but you accept him. So you are accepting a wrong candidate, right? And two other possibilities are that the candidate is excellent and you are accepting, the candidate is poor and you are rejecting. So there are four possibilities. Similarly, in terms of marriage, you can imagine. So you always have four possibilities: rejecting a wrong person, accepting a right person, rejecting a right person, and accepting a wrong person. So there are four possibilities in the life. Similarly, in hypothesis testing, if hypothesis is true, you are rejecting. If hypothesis false, you are accepting, or you are accepting a true hypothesis, or you are rejecting a false hypothesis. So there are four possibilities. And another problem is that there are two type of problems: researcher error and the sampling error. Sometimes the researcher don't know which test to apply. Sometimes researcher don't know how to collect the data. So that is researcher problem. In India, 99% of the researcher don't know how to collect the data. This is my observation. Because uh, all of you who have conducted the research on survey, you are very well aware about the data manipulation. And this is because why the collection of data is scientific. The data collection is a scientific procedure and we are not trained properly. That what precautions we should take, there are many do and don'ts in data collection. There are many do and don'ts in data collection, and these are not mentioned anywhere. But when I go to other countries, so they are aware about what should do, what should not do. So that's why on the basis of that comparison, this is my conclusion. Okay, but my intention is not to hurt anybody, frankly speaking. Okay, so there are two type of errors: errors from the researcher side, error from the conclusion side, sampling side. So assuming that the researchers are well trained, so we can minimize the non-sampling errors. So non-sampling errors means poor sampling method, wrong questionnaire, wrong measurement, behavioral effect. So we assume that because researchers are well trained, assuming that researchers are well trained, so these kind of errors can be minimized. The another problem is sampling error, right? Sampling error is possible, but we have to reduce, we have to control this kind of sampling error by taking some percentage. So that I'm going to tell. For that, we derive a concept called standard error. So there is a concept called standard error. मतलब वो error जो हो सकता है, the error which is allowed, you can say that. So like for example, if you hire employees and there is a rule that the employee has to report in the company by 9 o'clock. But if somebody come 9:01, 9 minute, 9:02, you can ignore that because that is possible, right? So some error is okay, no problem. But beyond that, beyond sample standard error, it means there is significant problem. So we, on the basis of the standard error, we divide the distribution in two categories. This is the red region is known as acceptance region, and the white region is known as rejection region. So this we decide on the basis of the percentage. Like for example, in research, social science research, this level is kept as 5%, 2% left hand side, 2% left hand side, right hand side. But if you think on medical science, if you think on aeronautics, right? I'm telling you, Air India, they have thousands of flights in a year. And one flight crash in Ahmedabad. So there is a lots of inquiry going on because even a 0.0000001% error is not acceptable. And if error happened, so there's a lots of inquiries, not only from India, all over the world. They want to know why it happened because error is not acceptable. So in some areas, errors are not acceptable, but in social science, errors are acceptable. Like for example, if you are teaching in a class, if 5% people are not happy, you don't bother it. So it means 95%. If 95% is happy, then I'm good. It is right. You can go with it. So normally in social science, the error is 5%. So 5% error is acceptable, and this error 5% is known as level of significance. So this level of significance is nothing, it's the error. Now there are two type of errors. So I am showing you the error terms. Error. Okay. Yeah. Let me show the type 1 and type 2 error. So let me explain here. So I am giving you one example. You are taking the interview of a person and the person is excellent. Or it may be possible the person is fraud and you have to hire the person for the company and you hire it or you reject it. There are two possibilities. So what is this? This is outcome and this is the reality. Reality. Now you are excellent. You are hiring an excellent person. This is a good decision. You are rejecting a fraud. Good decision. Right? It is a good decision. You are rejecting a fraud. But this is a problem. You are rejecting an excellent person is a problem. You are hiring a fraud is a problem. Now, the statistics ask you which problem you want to remove. You want to reduce this problem or you want to reduce this problem. This problem is known as type 1 error represented by alpha. And this problem is known as type 2 error denoted by beta. The question is that we want to reduce, minimize this problem or this problem because you cannot control both the problems. So one problem you have to fix to minimize and leave the other as it is. So the statistics decide problem one to minimize because actually they say that rejecting an excellent person is the big problem because once we reject, he never come back. But if we appoint a fraud, we can remove it. We can expel him after 1 month. So we have a solution of this problem, but we don't have the solution of this problem. Once we reject an excellent person, he will never come back. But if we hire a fraud person, we can, right? So the solution is there. Okay. So they decided to remove or minimize this problem to the minimum. So in social science, they decide to keep the alpha at 5%. So if your chances of error is 5%, then what is your confidence level? The question is that if you minimize this error to 5%, what is the confidence level? The confidence level is 95%. Now, whatever conclusion you are drawing is with 95%, right? So this step makes statistical text easy to apply and to conclude, right? So this is the type 1 error. Now, after this case, that keeping 95% confidence level, now there are many statisticians. They say that, okay, we are controlling type 1 error to the 5%, but what to do with beta? ये भी तो problem है. So this is also a problem. So this problem is solved by another concept. So this problem of beta is solved by a concept called power of the test. Power of the test. Now they say that power of the test, if it is 95%, right? So if you ask me what is the meaning of power of the test? So power of the test means what is the probability of not committing this error? If I say 95%, it means I am 95% confidence that I am not committing the type 2 error. This is called power of the test. So there is only 5% probability that I am committing the error of beta. So if I increase the power of the test, I can reduce the chances of this error. Now there was a discussion that how we increase the power of the test, right? You may heard about a software called G Power. एक सॉफ्टवेयर है उसका नाम है जी पावर, वो ये काम करता है. सो जी पावर calculate the power of the test, but in calculating the power of the test, one important input is the sample size. So sample size. So sample size is the way to improve the power of the test and to reduce the error of type 2 error. So now we have the solution of both the problems. We can control the type 1 error by fixing the level of significance, and we have the way to reduce the probability of type 2 error by keeping the large sample size so that power of the test will be more than 95%. So I hope this is clear. Now, okay. So what is this 5% level 1? So to make the 5% level 1, we divide the distribution in two categories. So this is the accepted region. Let me show in this slide. This shaded region is known as the acceptance level. Acceptance level means if your sample lies in this range, it means null hypothesis cannot be rejected. If your sample size lies in this range, the null hypothesis cannot be rejected. The null hypothesis can be rejected only if the data lies in the rejection region. And this rejection region have only 5% of the cases. Because level of significance हमने कितना रखा है? 5%. So we decided the level of significance as 5%. So because of this 2% on the left hand side, 2% on the right hand side. So now we are having a method of hypothesis testing that is called confidence interval method. This was a very old method of hypothesis testing. So all the old statisticians, they decided to keep 95% confidence level that if your sample size lies in this range, it means you are safe, not safe actually, because you cannot reject the null hypothesis. So your sample size should lie in this range to reject the hypothesis. But this was an old method. Now the new method is called p-value method. 99% of the softwares nowadays is adopting the p-value method. Nobody is adopting confidence interval method. Oh. Right. So how the confidence interval method work? Like for example, if you are calculating the, let's say, pollution level. So the pollution level, if it comes between 10 and 25, so there is a lower limit, this limit, there is a upper limit, this limit, and the value which you calculate of a city. Suppose you are calculating the pollution of a Jaipur and you found that it is 15. So it means this 15 value comes between lowest and highest. So it means you can say the Jaipur is not a polluted city because you cannot reject the hypothesis, so you are accepting the null. Jaipur is a clean city. But in case the pollution level comes 75, now you know that you are not lying in this range. You are not lying in this range. So it means you say that Jaipur is not a clean city. You are rejecting the hypothesis. So this method was known as the confidence interval method. But we are now the software is not working all this in this way. The software is working in the way like so they take only half side, right? 50% they don't take only half side. And this half side is the this total is the 50% of the total. 50% is there, but that is hidden part. That is not visible, right? So we have only 50% part. Now suppose, and this distance is how much? 0.5. 50% is basically 0.5. And this distance is 2.5%, 2.5%, right? Or 2.5%. This is the 2.5%. And in this way, we can say this distance is 47.5%. So the acceptance region is 47.5% and rejection region is only 2.5%. Now suppose your sample lies here and this distance is 2%, right? So what software do? Software will take the distance of this and so multiplied by 2. Why 2? Because this part is also there. So p value is equal to distance from the extreme multiplied by 2. This is the p value. So if in this case the p value is equal to 0.04 because it is lying on the rejection region. So if the sample lies on the rejection region, the p value is always less than 0.05. Less than 0.05. So we conclude one simple thing that, so let me, okay, बार-बार लिखना पड़ रहा है तो वो discard. So we have a conclusion that if p value of any test is less than 0.05, it means your sample is lying in the rejection region, or simply means null hypothesis can be rejected. So we have a conclusion in the statistics that whenever the p value is less than 0.05, we will definitely reject the null hypothesis. So this is the rule that almost every software is following. Now, in this case, by default, we are having the assumption that alpha is 5%. In case your alpha is 1%, then this value is converted to 0.01. So in case of alpha is equal to 1, the compare p value should be compared with 0.01. So in this way, the hypothesis testing takes place in the softwares. Okay. Okay, now let's move. So we have two type of error, type 1 and type 2. type 1 error is minimized by the level of significance, and type 2 error is managed by the sample size to increase the power of the test. So I hope it is clear. Type 1 error, type 2 error, and we are having both error cannot be solved same time. We have to treat both the errors differently. So p-value approach, I already explained that what is the p-value approach, and confidence interval. I hope you understand that. Okay. So now I am coming back to the questions. So let's, because I promised you that no question should be unanswered. So which hypothesis, null or alternate, should be included in thesis and research paper? Answer is alternate according to me. Which keyword must be used in hypothesis statement? Difference, association, impact, influence. Right. Is every objective of the research should have hypothesis? Answer is no. But if you have 5 objective, at least 3 must have hypothesis. How to develop the hypothesis? Hypothesis can be developed on the basis of arguments. If you have the argument, then you can develop claim the hypothesis. What is the difference between hypothesis and theory? Hypothesis is tested by many but not proved. And if hypothesis was tested by many, it becomes mature and proved, it becomes a theory. Which statistical test should be adopted for hypothesis testing? You know that for difference we use t-test and ANOVA test. For association we use chi-square test. For correlation we use correlation. For impact we use regression model. For influence we use SEM, structural equation model. So how do we accommodate the possibility of error in the hypothesis testing? So type 1 error can be accommodated by fixing the level of significance to 5%, and the type 2 error can be fixed by taking increasing the sample size for increasing the power of the test. So this is the all the concepts for the hypothesis. Just wait for 1 minute. I'm showing you one reel actually. So let me open that. Yeah. Okay. Basically, today I see this reel and I was literally impressed with it. I tell me whether the volume is there or not. Okay. So I will send you the कहाँ गई reel वो? I will send you. Okay. So this was the reel which I want to show you, but the volume I am not able to hear. Okay. So I will send you the link. Basically, what is the message this reel is giving? That AI spoiled my career. So in this case, there are many examples given. It is a long reel, 1.2 minute, and so many examples are given that how the AI is spoiling the career of people. So nowadays we have to move to the AI, and okay. So now I want to answer any questions if you have, or give me any other topic so that I can speak more time. Audio is not working. Okay, no problem. I will share the reel. So I am waiting for the questions. So if you have any questions, so I can answer. I like to answer.
Thank you so much, sir. Any questions? Sir has described in a very lucid manner everything about hypothesis, I think. Yes, please. Yeah, I am unmuting. You can unmute yourself and you can ask. Please unmute yourself and you can ask. Yes,
Hello.
yes, yes.
Hello. Good evening, sir. Am
Good
I
evening.
audible, sir?
Yes,
Yeah,
First of
perfectly.
all, thank you so much, sir, for such an insightful session. Everything today you taught, it means it will help in our research a lot. Sir, I have one question regarding hypothesis. The thing is, why the focus in research methodology is mainly on null and alternative hypothesis, even though there are several other types of hypothesis available, sir. Like I was reading somewhere, so there I saw that directional hypothesis, associative, causal, simple. So there are these type of hypothesis still available, but I want to know that is there any particular reason why the other types are not introduced or discussed in detail in curriculum or
Basically, the directional hypothesis you are saying is alternate hypothesis. Directional hypothesis means X is having impact on Y. So you are giving a direction, right? So directional hypothesis comes in alternate hypothesis. So
okay,
it is a basically you can say it is a synonym of the alternate hypothesis. So it is there is directional hypothesis is not a separate category. It is not a separate category.
okay,
It
sir.
comes in alternate hypothesis.
Okay, sir. So directional is part of
No,
alternative
no,
hypothesis.
it is simply
Okay,
alternate
it is a
hypothesis.
synonyms to alternative hypothesis. It
Yeah,
is
yes,
same. It
yes.
rules is
Yes,
as
it is
equivalent
perfectly
to.
same.
But what about other? That means, sir, only exactly there are two kind of hypotheses.
Yes, exactly. There are two kind of hypotheses. Are other words are the synonym of the alternate or
Null.
other null.
Okay. Oh, okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
you. Any more questions? Yes, Dr. Seema, you can ask.
Good evening, one and all. Sir, so it means we have to choose either null or alternate hypothesis in
Yes.
Yes,
every
yes.
research.
Yeah.
Okay, sir, I'm from law background. So in law, we have to choose either null or alternative hypothesis, right?
Mhm.
So, so out of
Okay.
these two, we have to
No,
choose only
let
one.
me explain. Basically, in law, you never tell the hypothesis. Why I'm telling you? Because in law, because I met many law experts, law researchers. They say that 90% of the research in law is qualitative. So when you are doing a qualitative research, like for example, in this case, what kind of orders was come by from the judges. So in law, the hypothesis testing cannot be done because you are not having quantitative data. Most of the data in law is qualitative.
Qualitative.
So the methodology, the research methodology you have to apply is entirely different. Like I'm giving you one example. Recently, I was discussing with one of the lawyer, and he wanted to do a research. So we decided a topic that is called deep fake. Deep fake. You know that deep fake is a problem.
Yes.
Now we decided that how to proceed with the topic. So we decided that because hypothesis cannot be tested in this case, so we have to find out what problems this new technology bring to the society and what law says about this problem, how the law will handle this problem, right? So the all the problems are of qualitative nature, and at the end of the research, you came out with the conclusions and the solution, right? So in these kind of research, the hypothesis testing cannot be done.
Okay. Right, sir.
Yeah, because of the nature of data you have only qualitative data. So that's why hypothesis testing is not possible. It's only possible when you take a survey of the judges, but that is not possible. When you conduct the survey of the lawyers, that is not possible. So survey is normally not possible in law. So that's
Yes.
why qualitative, you have to develop your qualitative data skills.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Uh, I have a question to you.
Yes, sir.
Normally, we teach, and it is always advocated that the research scholar should work on the null hypothesis. But somewhere you have mentioned that instead of working on null hypothesis, he or she should work on an alternate hypothesis. Why is it so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is your question or learning?
Right. What is your comment about this?
Sir, basically, frankly speaking, it may hurt you, but there are two type of teachers in India:
Yeah.
professors and researchers.
Yeah.
So the professor who teach statistics, because they are teaching from the book,
Yeah.
and all books say, because whatever numerical you give in the exam, all books started with null hypothesis.
Yeah. That's why I'm asking this question to you.
The problem is all Indian statistical books started with the null hypothesis,
Yeah.
and at the end of the question you have to answer it. So this notion was taken by the professor and say that you should take null hypothesis research.
Yeah.
But when researcher take the null hypothesis and say send paper for publication, it was rejected. So you can understand the difference between the theory and the practice.
Yeah.
So in the research in the question paper, you can write, or any student who is appearing in the exam and giving the exam of a statistics, so he can write with the null, because that is the requirement of the book.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in the research, the way is different.
So that's more practical approach.
Yeah,
Right.
that's more practical approach.
But in examination, in question paper, if it is asked that whether
Yes,
the researcher should work on null hypothesis or alternate
null,
hypothesis, then the correct answer will be the null hypothesis.
null hypothesis. Because
Yeah.
in the books, you have to start with the null.
Yes. Yes. That's why I asked this question. Thank you. But it was an extremely good session conducted by you.
Thank you.
And any question? Thank you, Professor Mehta, sir, for asking question. Any more questions? You can unmute. You have the right to unmute yourself, and you can ask directly to Dr. Ajay. I think there are some questions in the chat box, sir. Can we?
Yeah, please let me open the chat box if any question. So difference, one question I can see the difference between type 1 error and type 2 error. Okay, if I explain statistically, if you are rejecting a true hypothesis, this is called type 1 error. It means किसी निर्दोष को सजा देना, आप ऐसा समझ लो. If you are giving sentence to a innocent person, that is called type 1 error. Right? So type 1 error is something rejecting a true hypothesis. And type 2 error means accepting a false hypothesis. Accepting a false hypothesis called type 2 error. So these are the definition of two different type of errors. Okay, any other query? So I think there is no other query in the chat box.
Yes, sir. I think everyone is already satisfied, and the chat box are full of thank you. So I
Yeah,
think
Ravina is saying that I have one question.
yes. Sir, you can participant. You can directly ask to sir to question to Dr. Ajay. You can unmute rather than writing in the chat box. You have the opportunity to ask directly to Dr. Ajay. Unmute yourself and you can ask.
You can ask in Hindi or any language.
Yes, any language you can ask to Professor Ajay, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Dr. Vaid.
So
Seema.
one more question, sir. Sir, how
Yeah.
we will distinguish कि which test will be applicable on which type of research?
Okay. So it is a very good question. Actually, in qualitative research, like for example, if we are doing qualitative research, so in qualitative research, we apply content analysis, sentiment analysis, mining, natural language processing, thematic analysis. So these are the different techniques which we apply in the text data or qualitative data, text prediction, right? So if you are in law or any qualitative side, then you have to go for this way: thematic, content, text mining, natural language processing, and all these things. Topic modeling, right? Classification. But in survey, we have different type of techniques, right? T-test, ANOVA test, chi-square test, the correlation test, regression test. Those who are in time series, they have to apply different set of techniques like unit 2 test, ARIMA test, GARCH test, VAR test. Those who are in panel data, they have to apply another test, fixed effect model, random effect model, dynamic panel model. So actually, the test depends upon the type of data. So the data, if you have qualitative data, qualitative methods, if you have quantitative data, quantitative methods, if you have time series methods, so depends upon the methods and data basically.
Yes, sir, actually, I want to discuss one thing. Sir, I
Yeah,
did my PhD in 2009.
9.
Yes, so after that, I did my job, but as a guide, I started before some time. So
Mm-hmm.
it's very tough to, like, as a teacher, as a guide, to know whenever the students will ask me, ma'am, which theory will be applicable on which research. So, sir, how I should enhance my knowledge, from where I should get this knowledge as a guide, I want to ask.
Ravi sir is conducting very good workshops in future.
Yes,
So
sir.
I suggest you to join all the workshops and I have my YouTube channel. All the great statisticians, researchers have the YouTube channel. So you can join our YouTube channel also.
Yes.
My
So you
YouTube
have,
channel is
so you
Research
have,
Shiksha.
okay. Thank you, sir.
And I will share the link also, sir. You just share
Thank,
the link.
The
thank
name
you
of
so
the
much.
channel is Research Shiksha and you can join us on LinkedIn, right? So basically देखिए मैं आपको बड़ा सिंपल सा एक कहावत बताता हूँ
Yes, sir.
कि अगर आपको तेज दौड़ना सीखना है ना तो आपको घोड़ों के साथ रहना पड़ेगा, नहीं तो गधों के साथ रह गया आप।
Seriously, sir.
सो आपको ना जो अच्छे रिसर्चर लगते हैं, मैं आपको एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग वो भी कंसेप्ट बताता हूँ अभी।
Yes, sir.
पहली बात तो आपको ये देखना पड़ेगा कि इंडिया के टॉप रिसर्चर कौन है, तो उनको साथ कनेक्ट हो जाओ लिंक्डइन से, थ्रू लिंक्डइन और देयर आर सो मेनी अदर वेज।
Yes,
दूसरा, देयर इज ए कंसेप्ट कॉल्ड मैनिफेस्टेशन। सो रवि सर, आई कैन टेक आई थिंक 5 minutes.
Sir, yes, we have 15 minutes left.
Yeah, in education we have a concept called manifestation.
yes, sir.
So I'm giving you one example of manifestation. Uh, Manoj Tiwari, who's a great actor, he went to Patna on because of some shooting. During this shooting, he stayed in a five-star hotel,
Yes, sir.
and during that time, his chappal was stolen,
Yes,
right? And after 25 years, he came to, not 25, so after 15 years, he came to know that the Pankaj Tripathi stole those. पंकज त्रिपाठी ने वो चप्पल चुराई थी। तो
yes,
मनोज तिवारी ने पूछा कि क्यों चुराई थी, तो उसने बोला, सर मुझे किसी गुरु ने कहा था कि जैसा बनना चाहते हो उसकी उसका कुछ सामान उठा लेना। तो दिस कंसेप्ट इज कॉल्ड मैनिफेस्टेशन।
yes, sir.
सो मैनिफेस्टेशन मींस सब वट एवर यू वांट टू बी, लाइक सपोज आपको रिच बनना है, सो आस्क 10 rupees note फॉर फ्रॉम द रिचेस्ट पीपल। Those 10 rupees note, if you put in the temple, brings a lot of money in your home,
Yes.
right? So हमें ना ये चीज हमें बहुत पहले सिखाई गई थी कि जैसा आप बनना चाहते हो उन लोगों से कुछ ना कुछ छीन ले लो।
So that's why we are attending.
So, because all these things bring you the right energy at your place.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
And myself, if I meet the top researcher in this India or world, I ask them to give me pen.
Yes, sir.
मैं उनसे पेन ले लेता
Thank you so much, sir,
हूँ
for your
जैसे आपने सुना था
suggestion.
ना कि वो 3 इडियट में वो किसका पेन था वायरस
Yes,
का पेन
yes, sir.
so that is called manifestation that brings a lot of change in your life.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. Wonderful, sir. Wonderful. You have explained very wonderful, sir. Any more questions? So please switch on your videos so that we can take some screenshots with Dr. Ajay Kumar Chauhan, sir. It is a request to all of you to please switch on your videos. And then after that, you can enjoy your Sunday also. And I want to thank once again to Dr. Ajay Kumar Chauhan
Thank you, sir.
to spare his valuable time even on Sunday. I know, sir, you are very busy with your personal programs with Research Shiksha, your organization. But still, every time, whenever I invite you for any keynote speaker or any resource person, any event, you always say yes. So, on behalf of Inspira Research Association and Mehta Institute and Swami Sahajanand, sir, I would like to thank you once again, sir. And for the formal vote of thanks, I would like to invite Dr. Heer, IQAC Coordinator, Swami Sahajanand College of Commerce and Management Autonomous, Gujarat, Bhavnagar. Dr. Heer.
Very good evening, everyone. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Good
Yeah.
evening.
Okay. I, Dr. Hirsha, IQSC coordinator, extend my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Ajay Kumar Chauhan, sir, for delivering such an insightful and enriching session on hypothesis. I think that the complex thing is teaching the teachers. And this was really commendable, truly commendable job, sir. It has certainly deepened our understanding and sparked curiosity among all the participants. I would also like to thank Ravi Modi, sir, from Inspira, our principal, Dr. Hetal Mehta, our visionary founder trustee, Dr. Suresh Savani, sir, the Mehta College, all the collaborations, for all the constant support and encouragement in organizing such valuable academic engagements. Sir, we look forward for all these kinds of FDPs because this is enriching our research. This is what we academicians need for. So lastly, sincere thanks to all the faculty members, participants, and the organizing team for their enthusiasm and the smooth coordination. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Heer. And thank you so much once again, Dr. Ajay, sir. Thank you so much, everyone, every participants. And tomorrow again, same time, we will meet at 5 p.m. on the topic regression analysis by Professor Manvinder Singh Pava from Dr. Hari Singh Gaud Vishwavidyalaya Central University, Sagar. So thank you. And as you know, we will share the assignment MCQs on 31st July based on these 6 sessions. So once again, I request you, all of you to please join all the sessions. And if you have any query, you can WhatsApp me and you can call me. And every recorded video I will share with you after when we end the event.
So, I
Thank
want
you.
to ask something. Can I? Hello?
Yes, yes, yes.
Sir,
Can you
just
open
last
can you
question.
open
Yes,
your
sir.
video?
Uh,
Can you open your video?
Actually, sir, it's not my net is quite not good right now. That is why I'm not opening. Otherwise, it will get disconnect.
No problem. No
Uh,
problem. What is your name?
Sir, my name is Nikhat Nasreen Khanam, and I'm a research scholar in Jamia Hamdard in Delhi.
Yes, yes.
Sir,
Please.
I wanted to know that as as per given in the emails and information before, as you have mentioned that all the things will be given on the last date. But what if can we get it earlier? So for the last assignment test, at least we can like go through it and prepare, because when lectures happen, sometimes it happens due to network issue and other reasons, we are not able to note down everything, you know.
Actually,
So
it will not justify, ma'am. It will not justify if I share the early, because then what is the use of MCQ? What is the use of assignment test on the 31st? You have to share. You have to join with the
no,
good
sir, I'm
internet.
saying that we will definitely join it, but for a gradual study, I am saying that, like you were saying, that after the assignment and after the exam MCQs, then only we will be given the
Yes, ma'am.
certificate, right,
This is
sir?
our pattern,
So
ma'am.
what happens now during these classes, sometimes due to network issue, we are not able to capture the pictures to just go through after the classes. There
You
are
have to
some
keep
issues,
your
sir. So
internet well, ma'am. You have to keep your internet well. I will share only on 31st. After 31st, the videos. This is our pattern. So I am so sorry. We cannot share before that.
sir, what about the PDF? Matlab, nothing related to the course we will get beforehand.
We cannot share because it depends on the resource person. If the resource
Okay.
person share with us, we will share you.
Yeah.
How the resource person will share his or her PPT. He is
After the
preparing.
class, like today we had Ajay sir class. After the
Yes.
class, what I'm saying that after the class, like in mail or something, can we get these PPTs or something?
You have to keep in the meeting. You have to take screenshots. You have to take pictures. Only that, or you have to wait till 31st July. Only after that, I will share all.
Then there will be a gap for exam and the resources you will share, or immediately you will share the
There is no
resources
gap.
and then.
There is no gap. On 31st, we will share the MCQ. There is no lecture on 31st July.
Okay, no, we are, that is what I'm asking. That particular day only you will share the resources
Yes,
as well as the MCQs.
yes. After
Okay,
you finish your MCQs, we will share the videos.
okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Once again, thank you all of you. Thank you.